my little lava tacos. Good morning, my little pumpkin Pop-Tarts. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another channel, or if this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Carrington. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy unboxings, true crimes, full face of nothing new, chit chat, get ready with me, hauls, whether that be makeup, non-makeup, unboxings, mystery boxes, where we sprinkle in some true crime, then definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. As well, if this is your 10th time, 100th time, 50th time, second time here, and you still have not yet hit that subscribe button, I absolutely invite you to do so. So that way you can join this dumpster fire, dumpster fire, dumpster fire of a channel. And let's go ahead and let's get on into today's video. It's almost Christmas time. Like, Christmas is going to be here very, very soon. So I'm not really, so here's the thing. I have like a full month of everything like planned out. And I sometimes like to write like, this is the day I'm going to do this and this and this. And then sometimes that's just not how it goes. And it seems like so far that's not how it's going. So I don't know how close to Christmas this video is actually going to go. But what I do know is that it will be before Christmas. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup using nothing new. So this is the stuff from my collection that I know I love, that I think is fantastic for the Christmas holiday, especially if I'm planning on going anywhere for Christmas parties, things like that. This is probably like a makeup idea that I could do. So I'm going to be sitting here doing my makeup using products that I love, and then I'm going to be talking about some murders / mysteries, because we do have a mystery in today's video. We're going to be sitting there talking about murders and mysteries that happened on Christmas. This could be Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I am lumping them together. So if you are excited to see what look I create, as well as, oh my gosh, there goes my voice. What look I create, as well as to hear about some really cool true crime-esque kind of stories, then definitely keep on watching. Case 1. On Christmas Eve 1945, George and Jenny went to sleep with 9 of their 10 children in the home, as one of them was in the military. However, Maurice, Martha, Louise, Jenny, and Bethy asked for special permission to stay up late, which Jean said would be all right as long as they remembered to take care of the farm animals, close the curtain, and lock the doors. In the early hours, the phone rang, and Jenny went to answer it, where a woman was on the other line, and she asked for someone Jenny did not know, and when told she had the wrong number, the woman oddly laughed and hung up. Shortly after, Jenny woke up in the middle of the night to a noise, but after checking it out, went back to sleep. About 30 minutes later, she smelled smoke and saw that the office was on fire. She woke up her husband and called for her children to wake up and rush out of the home. They knew that some of the children were stuck, so they went to get the ladder that was always kept in the same spot, but it was gone. So George went to get his truck that worked the previous day to pull up next to the window so the children could jump out, but now the truck that worked perfectly fine earlier would no longer start. The fire station was called and were told that there were children trapped in the home, but they would not actually make it for another 7 hours, with the reason being an operator would take the call and would have to call each firefighter from their home one by one. The parents of and 4 of the children made it out, but the 5 that did not were 5-year-old Betty, 8-year-old Jenny, 9-year-old Louis, 12-year-old Martha, and 14-year-old Maurice, those who had been able to stay up later. Once the firefighters made it to the house, it had already burned to the ground hours before, and all that was left was a basement of ashes. An informal search happened, and instead of skeletons, there were just a few bones and some internal organs. They were told that the children perished and that the cause was faulty wiring, but they did not believe that because all the lights worked and were on during the actual fire. However, it was later revealed that it would take at least 2 hours and much hotter temps for a skeleton to disintegrate, In the fire, the solderers burned for less than an hour, meaning all 5 skeletons would still be there. There was a bus driver and family friend who claimed that they saw the children in a strange car pulling away from the house as it was on fire. A woman from a diner said she saw the children with an unknown amount of adults who she served, but did not know about this case beforehand. 2 years after the event, George saw a photo of children in New York and was convinced one of them was his daughter Betty. He then traveled, but was not allowed to see the actual children. Around this time, Fire Chief Morris told the Sodders that he had recovered some body parts and buried them in a box near the burnt-down house. However, it turned out to be fresh beef liver. In 1968, Jenny got a letter in the mail that had been mailed from Kentucky with no return address, and inside was a photo of a man that would have looked like Lewis grown up. So they hired a private investigator who took their money and never returned and was never seen from or heard from again. Of course, leads came in that people saw the children all around the country, but none of them ever went anywhere. George traveled the country tracking down every lead up until his death in 1969, and Jenny, his wife, continued for another 20 years until she died. The case has never been solved. The second case. Samina Imam was having an affair with Roger Cooper and gave him an ultimatum to leave his partner. Roger said that he was going to leave his partner and be with her forever. However, he had been plotting her murder for a month before, so she would never get the opportunity to expose him. He even enlisted the help of his brother David Cooper. They bought poisonous metals, dug a shallow grave, and even came up with a language in Star Wars code to communicate the murder in text. On Christmas Eve, 2014, Imam was so excited that Roger was finally going to leave his woman for her. The plan was to meet on Christmas Eve and then spend Christmas Day at Birmingham's Malmaison Hotel, and in 2015, officially be together. Roger told her to meet him at the hotel as he had a surprise for her. However, Roger was not going to be there. David was to sit in a car and abduct her. However, the plan failed, so they decided to meet up nearby, where they then went to David's home, and she was quickly attacked with chloroform and given a bizarre combination of metals via injection. Roger then left her there for David to dispose of while he went home to join his partner to create an alibi. The next day, her family put in a missing persons report, and David and Roger quickly became suspects. They were then arrested and charged, where they will now serve life without the possibility of parole. The next case started on December 24, 2008, when Bruce Pardo, dressed in a Santa suit, knocked on the door of his former in-laws with multiple guns. He then knocked on the door, where 8-year-old Katrina answered the door, and he began to open fire. He then unwrapped a package with a flamethrower in it and began to set the house on fire. 9 people either died from gunshot or flames, and 3 others were wounded. One survivor ran to the neighbors and was able to call the police. After the attack, Pardo put on his street clothes and drove his rental car to his brother's house, where he then shot himself. Police found $17,000 in cash strapped to his leg and the Santa suit, which was rigged to set fire if touched. Police speculate that the motive of the attack was related to the marital issues he had had with one of the victims, Sylvia Ortega. As 1 week prior, she was granted $1,785 in spousal support. He also had lost his job as an IT specialist for hours billed that he had never worked. He did buy a plane ticket to Iowa, where one of his friends lived, but due to his injuries from the flamethrower, part of the Santa suit melted into his skin. So the police believed that instead of moving on with his plan, that he just shot himself. The next case took place on Christmas Day, 1929. The Lawson waited for his 2 daughters, Carrie and Mabel, who were at their uncle's house by the tobacco barn. Once he set eyes on them, he shot them with a shotgun and ensured that they were dead by bludgeoning them. He then placed the bodies in the barn. He then returned home, where his wife, Fanny, was sitting on the porch and shot her. Their daughter Marie heard the shots and screamed. James and Raymond went to find hiding places. Marie was killed next. He then found the boys' hiding places and either shot or bludgeoned them to death. He then killed baby Mary Lou with his hands. He then went to the nearby woods where it is speculated he walked around for hours and shot himself. The only survivor was that of their eldest son, Arthur, who was sent on an errand beforehand. All the family members were found with their arms crossed and heads rested on rocks. Soon after the murders, a brother of Charlie opened the crime scene to tours where everything was left as it was. An autopsy was done, and it was reported that Lawson's brain may have been relatively small and underdeveloped, which is where the theory evolved that he suffered from a head injury, as he was acting bizarre beforehand and even went to the doctors for headaches and insomnia. The second theory was that Lawson was in a relationship with his daughter Marie and that she had fallen pregnant, and so as not to shame the family, he killed them all and himself. No one knows for sure the true reason. The final case that we are going to discuss today is that of Christy Bamu. First, we need to do some prefacing by saying him and his family are that of some African background. And this is important because in Africa, being accused of witchcraft is a serious crime. And even as recent as just a few years before, if you were accused of witchcraft, you were believed to have inherited it from someone in your family, usually your mother. And so a witch hunt would ensue, where then you would be accused and you would usually be murdered. So this is definitely very important for this story. You could be accused of witchcraft for any form of albinism. You can be accused of witchcraft for having food that goes bad. There's just so many ways that you can be accused of witchcraft, and honestly, you can be just like disliked by somebody higher up in your area, and a witch hunt would then ensue where you would then kill all of the children and the parents, so that a way the legacy of the witchcraft could not move on. So that's just very important, just because in Africa, being accused of witchcraft is a serious crime and accusation, and Christy's family is usually located in that of Nigeria. So just something important. I want to make sure that we talk about how serious witchcraft is in Africa. So what happened to Christy Bamu was him and 4 of his siblings were visiting his sister Magali and her partner Eric Bikubi. Eric and Magali accused all of the children of being possessed with witchcraft. Eric began to beat all of the children and forced them to partake in attacks on Christy, who was 15 at the time. The young girls were then forced to eat a light bulb, and Eric tried to shove them out of the window to prove that they were indeed witches and could fly. His sisters were able to escape the intense beatings after confessing to being witches and allowed Eric to perform exorcisms on them. Christy, however, claimed that he was not a witch, but he then wet his pants because he had to use the bathroom and was not allowed into the bathroom. He was not believed, and therefore the beatings began to increase. He was struck in the mouth with a heavy bar and a hammer where his teeth were knocked out. Items were smashed into his head, and pliers were used to twist his ears. His limbs were completely smashed. Christy asked for forgiveness, but neither Eric or Magali cared. Christy was attacked with knives, sticks, metal bars, ceramic floor tiles, bottles, and a hammer and chisel. On Christmas Day 2010, after 4 days of torture, he begged to die before becoming so weak that he slipped under the water in the bathroom and died. It was then that their father was called by Eric and was told to come and get their kids before they were all murdered. His father was the one to call the cops, for when he showed up, there was blood everywhere. When the police arrived, the blood remained everywhere. And Christy was taken to the medical examiner, where it was shown he had over 130 separate injuries. Magali tried to claim that she had no part in it, that it was all Eric who forced him to do all of this. However, Their sisters testified that Magali just sat there and watched and did absolutely nothing and did nothing to help Christy at all. The judge then did say that although witchcraft is a serious thing in Africa, that this should not be allowed to continue anywhere in the world, that just because you're accusing somebody of witchcraft does not mean someone deserves the abuse and murders that this Christy had received. So they are now being sentenced anywhere from 20 years to life with prison, with the possibility of parole if a minimum amount is served. They are currently sitting on trial, and they will be receiving their sentence in a short time. All right, so here is the final Christmas look. What do you guys think? Are you loving this? Are you not loving this? Would this be something you would wear to a Christmas party, Christmas gathering, Christmas morning, whatever? Let me know all that down below. I think this turned out so good. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Let me know if you guys loved the true crime story, especially that Sauter family mystery. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you think the kids were taken? Do you think they ran away? What do you guys think happened to them? Let me know what you guys think down below. But overall, I'm really happy with this look. I'm so excited. It'll be a Christmas party here soon, and I'm planning on wearing this to my work's Christmas party. My hair, however, is going to be curly. I'm getting ready to go in, and I'm going to do the heatless curls where you take like a robe and wrap it around. I'm going to do that. See how well the heatless curls work. But yeah, I am so excited for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did enjoy this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell if you have not already. I do other get readies with me. I do other true crimes. I've got another one planned for this month, and I have a really big one planned for January. So if you guys are excited for those types of things, then definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.